brand new purple light. Friends, brand new purple light. Friends, facts, brand new purple light. Friends, red and blue, purple light. Friends, facts, you can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road, you better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego, then I open my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah, we gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts, we in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts, peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Peace, 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 peace to the family, peace to you and yours. All right. Tis your brother Blue, and you are now rocking with the best. Welcome back to another episode of Know the Ledge TV, or Know the Ledger 444. Get my little pieces on. All right. Thought that was the outro. Now the outro is actually pay me in crypto, right? Diamonds is dancing, damn the disco, right? That's the intro, family. You know when you hear that song, that you're gonna tell your nana and them that yo, the brothers is on. Shout out to Brother Red. All right. Peace to the chat. What's good with y'all? How you doing today? How you been? How you doing? What's good with you? We have another amazing episode for you today. This is part 3 of an ongoing series, all right? And we are soon to be joined by today's guest, none other than our good brother, Dimensional Tigerr. He will be in the building momentarily. In the meantime, in between time, I'm here. I want to do a wellness check. I know Brother Red be doing it different. He be doing a roll call and everything. You know what I'm saying? I want to do something a little different. I want to do a wellness check with the family. Make sure that everybody's mind is in the right place. You know, that we are, our mental acuity is where it needs to be. There's a lot going on in the world right now. So the same way that y'all be in the chat and y'all start listing all of the places that you're from, I'm asking you, keep the same energy, but in the chat room, tell me if you're good where you're at. Tell me if where you're at is stable, right? There's a lot of crazy things going on in the world right now. So, we got to check on our people. We got to check on your environment. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about what's going on in your mental state in your own body. It's not what's just going on in your home. You feel me? How is your community? It could be family that's tapping in from here that lives in Mississippi and Alabama. You know what I mean? It could be people that's tapping in from Utah. You know, how are things at where you are from and where you're at? Jackson, Mississippi is not good here, I could imagine. You know, Fayetteville, North Carolina, unstable. You know, I can imagine. And these are the things about, people that live in the South, in the deep South. These things have a reverberating nature through these corridors. You feel me? Um, we want to do, thank you, everything in our ability though to transmit energy and frequency to make sure that you are all right wherever you are, right? And that you settle into this reality that that you got to get right with yourself first and foremost, and then your outer environment, can be changed. You know what I mean? So you have to hold up your own mental, and that's why these shows are very necessary. Because sometimes we need to bounce confidence off of one another. Sometimes we need to remind one another who we are, where we are, why we are, right? So it's been an honor for me to get back into the groove of things and get back on camera, tapping with the family, and share some of this light. I had an amazing build earlier on IG, and it was an open line build. We opened the lineup, and people got to tap in from different places. And I swear, just like we feel about this audience, we feel that some of the most amazing people on the planet respond to the frequency, and they're tapped in and they're here in this audience. It's like the same thing. And the IG audience is an extension, it carries over. It's it cross pollinates, if you will. And yeah, it was some amazing people that tapped in, amazing information. Everything was right on time and it was right on point. It was confirmations, and or as our brother Dimensional Tigerr says, it was echoes that I needed to hear myself for my own personal self confidence. It was reminders that I had to hear, you know. And then the reality of the situation also kicked in. We had trolls in the building, you know, and I'm not gonna waste time here speaking about the trolls or what have you. But next Sunday, or this Sunday that's coming up, right, for my Sunday sermons, Mineral Ministries, we're gonna do a special presentation. It's gonna be called The Curse of Cain. And we're gonna go into troll culture, and we're gonna speak about the psychological backdrop of what a troll is, and the audacity of trolling. You know what I'm saying? Because it's deep, and it goes into so many different subjects and topics that's worthy of our observation and discussion, right? But today I'm not going to boggle you down with that particular demonstration, conversation, or what have you. We want to keep the frequency exactly where it needs to be, which is high vibrational, right? And once again, I'm so excited and delighted to be in your presence, to be in your company, and also, to have our guests back in the building, right? And keep the good times rolling. So, with no further ado, I want to present to you our brother, your brother, my brother, Dimensional Tigerr. Peace. Peace, God. Whoa, slipping on my button. Bing. There we
Peace,
go.
gods. There you go.
Peace,
What's
God.
up, Blue?
Peace, God. You got to change the
We
title.
here.
Update that. It's part 3.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Let's hurry that up. Edit name and headline. That's part 3. Right. And we are going to be talking about a couple of things today that the family needs to know about. So we're part 3. And what did I say the title of this was going to be? Introduction to Wattsville. Intro
Warriors of
to
the Sun is what.
the Warriors of the Sun.
Yes.
And actually, we're the second group. That's how long Elder's been in the game. Warriors of the Sun. Because he started out with the Keepers of the Light. And then came the Warriors of the Sun. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so excited to talk to you all about this because I've been able to extend the reach of Warriors of the Sun in New York to Miami as well and expand New York because it's needed. You guys need to be exposed to Chief Elder H. Castell. Um, I have sent you some things about that, Blue, but we're going to talk to the family about that as well. So, my chief elder, basically ran Alanese Chinese Kung Fu Wushu Temple from the 80s to when he left 25 years afterwards. He started with, this is the
Hold on,
longest
hold
running.
on. Yeah, you got to
Hmm?
preference this conversation. You just can't come
My
straight
bad,
out.
my bad. And again,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah. I
yet
always
versed. So I'm going to let you lead in and you can ask me any questions since you know
right.
a little bit already. So please.
Yeah. Um. Again, when preferencing a series, it's a continuation. Part three, we have a continuing conversation, continuing dialogue. So we always cannot be under the impression that everybody in the building caught part one or caught part two. Some people are here for the very first time. So, I'm a journalist and I've been in media, so I always have this impression about how to set things up because that's what we do in media. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So we always want a preference. We just don't want to jump in. Again, I started this with doing a wellness check and asking people how they're doing. So I want to be mindful of that off the break. That we are in a very propitious time in this country, on the planet right now, and because I feel what people feel, I'm tapped into the node of things. I know that people are feeling a lot of nervousness right now. They're feeling a lot of uncertainty right now. You know what I'm saying? And people are looking for answers, right? So this concept of safety and security, whether it's in their job security, whether it's their physical security, whether it's their mental security, right? A lot of these things are on the line, but for some people, they're non-negotiable. So they're looking for tools, they're looking for answers, or they're looking for commonality, right? Because some people are already fortified with these things and they're looking for community. They're looking for people who also share in that, solidification where certain things are
Mm.
non-negotiable, where they're like, nah, we ain't doing that over here. So with that being said, the reason and the purpose that I feel that these presentations are so important initially because we preference the conversation with our first, well, we preference the situation that we find ourselves in with the first conversation that we had, which was about the blood moon. And
Mhm.
you don't like taking the bait, so uh, I'll get to it. I'm a prophet of doom and gloom sometimes, so I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that sometimes Paul in the Bible in Galatians, he brought the good news. He was the bearer of good news. You know, in my role as a conveyor of what I call pillar prophecies, sometimes my prophetic musings are not the most, depending on how you receive my message, you know what I'm saying? They might not be the most comfortable because they speak about people preparing themselves, taking action, and being super aware. So that means you it's I'm not here to tell you where the fun is at all the time,
Mm.
right? And I wouldn't call it the
Right.
bearer of bad news. I'm just saying that I'm always mindful of where we're at, what's going on, and what potential, while people is on a happy-go-lucky, merry, the world is such a beautiful place. I'm looking at the villains. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
I'm not just the Jesus that hang out with the murderers, the pimps, and I'm listening to what they saying, and I'm hearing the plot and the plan, and it takes place in the darkness. And then I come outside in the light, and I share it with people of the light so they could get ready. Because the goody two shoes, they always getting they always getting fleeced for their coins. They always getting they peanut butter and jelly sandwiches always getting taken from them because they just don't be prepared, and they undermine, you know, the preparation of the bullies. So with all that being said, my preference for the blood moon is what it's always been. I'll show you evidence that they plotting and planning, and I'll show you who it is, and I'm gonna show you how it's gonna play out. And I'll be damned if it hasn't been playing out like that. And there's a balance, right? So you were speaking about a martial approach and understanding time signatures, time pulses, right? And these particular echoes that helps us recognize time cycles, right? So now we find
right.
ourselves in the throes of things that are taking place in less than 2 weeks. The country is totally different. The dynamics are totally different here. And not just this country, there's a global impact to what took place under this blood moon.
And that's prophecy. That was
Yes,
known ahead of time, which is why I
right.
wanted to do the show.
So
Yeah,
this is what I'm
and
saying.
yeah,
And this is why
yeah.
I want you to I don't
Slow
need
my
you
roll.
yeah, I don't need you to pop your
Uh,
collar. I don't need you to gloat in the fact
nah,
that
it's not about that. It's not
we
about that.
made prophetic musings or what have you, but now the continuation of responsibility of carrying the people to cross the Jordan, proverbially, if you will, right? How you gonna cross your people over the river Jordan? That's a reference maybe to Moses. Now I'm not putting any of us on that particular equilibrium, but I'm at the same time saying, right? We now that we have the conversation started, now that we have the receipts, right? Now what? People want to know about safety and security in the midst of all of this. And that also happens to be a strong point of yours, right? That this information wasn't being brought just for the sake of saying, yo, this is finna happen without saying, right? And that's the offense.
Right,
That's the offense. Because if you prepare for something, if we come to you and tell you something about to happen before it happens, you don't have to defend against that. You can create an offensive, right? So people
right,
had the information and they could set up their offensive. For those that didn't, now they playing defense. You know what I'm saying?
right. They got them
So
on their heels.
they got
They're
them on their
backing
heels.
them up on their heels.
So
Yeah,
with that
you can't
particular
fight on your heels.
right. So with that stage being set now, right? I feel that yes, now you have the ability to continue the conversation and speak specifically to people from that place as someone who trains people how to quote unquote fight, right?
Yeah,
Then
it's
now
much
you understand why I initially was going to name it the martial arts of moon magic. Because
waxing poetic. Waxing.
yeah,
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
now we find ourselves right? And you could tell us where we're at in in the particular moon cycle right now with that
That's a
mean
that's a part of it.
actions. So here you go, bro. Um,
All right.
that's the perfect setup. Perfect.
So what I want to do, since that's the case, and we do need to back it up. I have two things. I was gonna tell you to name it the something about the calculation of the secret of 222. I think it was the secret of 222. So what I'm gonna say is going to be specific, but at the same time is general. 222 kept echoing for years, and we thought from our group that it was pointing to a certain person, and it does point to that person, but it was a multi-dimensional echo. So what I mean by that is that the other side of 222 that came through because I kept saying 2 minute warning, 2 minute warning, 2 minute warning. Those who have been in my groups know. It was like, what you mean, Tiger? And I was like, 2 years, right? But it came 3 times, and we didn't realize that. So events happened. It wasn't sequential, right? So when I first said the first 2 minute warning was like 2014 with the blood moons. In 2016, there was a big event that we still don't fully understand because I haven't broken it down. But it echoed again with Trump being reelected. When Trump got elected in 2016, that's a loop in the timeline with him being reelected in 2024. Because as I explained in the first part, and I'll reiterate now since I took for granted that everybody's here from the, and that's something else. And I see somebody ask who's Dimensional Tigerr, right? So because of that, that means that they hadn't seen the first 2 parts.
Bro,
So
stay out of that
I
chat.
apologize.
Just
I apologize for me not being focused. So I'll shut that chat down so I can stay focused on this. So what I'm saying to you is this: the timeline is repeating itself. It is absolutely clear. So I've been able to prophesy in a way because I know what transpired before. How is it and why is it repeating itself? Because those with knowledge, we'll call them sorcerers, right, have constructed, have built a construct that is equivalent to what we know as a matrix. Artificial time, artificial money, hence artificial people. And at the end of the day, movie monks is a thing that I'll talk about later. We'll break it down because the clues are in the movies. In the first episode of the Blood Moons, I mentioned that we went into the Blood Moons on a Friday the 13th. I'll reiterate here. What do you mean, Tiger? Like, wasn't that like, I forget what date it was, but it was not. It was like the third or the fourth, the fifth. That's
this
because the
moon?
full moons, say again?
You saying the moon that just passed? This one?
Yes, yes.
It
That
was the
that
seventh.
Friday, look it up right now.
It was
Right. So that
this
Friday,
moon happened on the 7th.
right, and the Friday was the fifth, right? That's what I meant. So when I say it was a Friday the 13th, people will be like, "What you mean? It was the fifth?" That's because we don't realize that the word month comes from moon. So the new moon is day zero. It zeroes everything out. It's equivalent to a woman's cycle. That's why they say 28 days, the same cycle. Then when the young moon appears, which is the first light of the crescent, that's day one. That's how you calculate the true days of the month. So 7 days later, you have the first quarter moon, which I call the dragon moon. That's the first quarter moon. These are your true Sabbaths for those who are looking at a religious angle, but I teach it as natural order because this is the environment that you're in, related to your body. And once you have this knowledge, you can leapfrog ahead of where you've been because you've been limited with incorrect knowledge and you're sinning, quote unquote, against yourself by not having what does it say again? The book of the sun, the Helios Biblios, what we call the Holy Bible, states that you sin against yourself, basically, right? And that the wages of sin is death. Also, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. All of this applies in real time because we lack. We've been taught the miseducation of the whoever you want to plug in whatever name you want to put in. That's a fact. So now that the information is being resurrected, the true information of the Christ, no no shade on anyone that wants to believe whatever they want to believe. Perception is reality, and I have a saying: truth is personal, facts undeniable. So until it's absolutely provable, it's up for discussion, right? That's my take on it. So to be totally transparent and authentic about it, my experience is that the moon cycles are the so-called Sabbaths. At one point, I was involved with a school that were teaching some children that were under my care Kiswahili. So
Mm-hmm.
because of that fact, the parents were also had to learn Kiswahili. This is in South Florida.
Right.
Shout out to Dr. AK. So the first, I remember having the interview with Dr. AK with my spouse at the time, who had twins, right? And the twins were being admitted to the school. And the first words that I learned two words, were Maji and Saba, right? Maji meaning water in Kiswahili, and Saba meaning seven. No coincidence. So immediately I was like, oh, because I was already on this since I was 15, my family being Seventh-day Adventists when I grew up in that, situation. And I studied with my grandmother 3 times a day. We prayed 3 times a day. I ended up reinstituting that lately, about a year ago, and it manifested. So, getting back to why I believe that, long story short, and I did reiterate this, I believe, in one of the other episodes, I fell to my knees in tears at the age of 15 because I knew from my critical thinking mind that something was off. They've been manipulating these calendars, and here we are acting like Friday is the same Friday from the beginning of time. And it cannot be. Impossible. Especially when they've taken away 10 days. To create this Gregorian calendar in 1582, they took away 10 days. October 4th was when they pulled the trigger. The next day was October 15th. So therefore, the days of the week changed. So how, and knowing these things at a young age, I was sad because I felt that I was being led astray. So I prayed to not be deceived. I asked with tears in my eyes, and that's a powerful way to get to the to get to. When that emotion is involved in the mix, do remember there's things that are being done that we're becoming aware of, like adrenochrome, right? When adrenaline is released, it's really actually neuromelanin. When we get into it, that is a youth enhancing substance, but it has to be charged with adrenaline, with fear. So we hear the stories, but when we look at the science, then we understand it. It's not just conspiracy. When they say, okay, they scared these children like a monster was coming after them before they drink the blood, and now the blood is charged with the power of rejuvenation. I'm not drinking blood. Sometimes people joke with me because I'm 62 years old. They're like, yo, you drinking blood, son? What you doing? I'm doing the knowledge that I've gained by being involved with Chief Elder and developing systems, methods, and styles that I can show and prove that I'm about to release so that people can be around longer. They don't want you around longer, especially in no capacity of power, because now they can deal with you. So the overseers that are manipulating the society are poisoning you. Something that I was talking to one of my people about this morning I was going to bring on, but we'll bring her on soon enough, is that they wiped the web of a documentary that I used to give to all of my people that did my products for educational purposes. I stopped paying attention to that and giving it to them because the attention span was lacking. It's a 30-minute presentation, and then when I would question them about, yo, did you see that? What do you think? I found I didn't watch it. But it was so important that I went looking for it now because I feel we're in a different vibrational place. That clip that I might have on another laptop, not this one, but I gotta find it. They wiped it. I messed with the AI finally a couple times this week, and I asked it to find this, and it came back with, it's not here. It's not on Vimeo. It's not on Dailymotion. It's not on YouTube. It is not on the web, period. And that one is the big one. Why? Because it had receipts of what was done to your food supply. How they demonized fat. It's called the American Parasite, is what it was called. The American Parasite.
So family.
And I would love for anyone that has it or can find it to bring it to the table. Remember how they used to do the explainer videos so much where they're drawing and the drawing turns into it and people really got engaged with that and it was really going in? It was one of those. And some of the key points is that it named names of the individuals that paid off, to get the studies published to say that was contrary to reality. For example, that sugar was good for you and that fat was bad. When we know now, because we're more enlightened and read, that you need fats, the right type of fats, because your nervous system is built of fats. The sheathing, that's what keeps the synapses firing. So the fats are important. It's not about a low fat
Your
diet,
brain,
because I grew up
right.
hearing low fat diet. You know, in the meantime, taking out the fat takes out the flavor, right? And we love flavor. We all talking about, some certain people can't season their food, so we love flavor. Shout out Khalid Muhammad, you know, rest in power. We're people of rhythm, and you know what I'm saying,
Yes.
right? So what did they do to give it flavor back? That's the sugar, which is a killer. I happened to do something this week that I haven't done in the longest. Is that I had some people here at the Airbnb that left some sugar, and I ran out of what I usually use. And I put just like 2 tablespoons of sugar, and it almost took me out. I felt all my power zap out of my body. That was like mind blowing to me, because we're out here drinking whatever, it's full of sugar, this and that, and the next, not realizing that this thing is a poison. So here's another point from that documentary. They had paid the farmer industry to give their livestock sugar water to prove how sugar was good for them. And you know what happened? All of the animals died. Every last one of them in the study died. And they showed, the drawing, and they had the X's on the animals, and they like keeled over next to the water trough full of sugar water. We have to be clear on what's stopping. Like you're lifting heavy, right? You're doing your thing. I'm watching. I can't wait to train with you, right? That cannot happen with sugar in the body. You wouldn't be able to do what you do right now, for the neurons to be firing, for the muscles to respond, to push more weight and so on, if you were full of sugar. I know you're not. Okay? So this is just basics right now in terms of nutrition. So when I bring up Warriors of the Sun, Chief Elders' main emphasis has always been health, because health is the first wealth, right? You could do all your thing. You've seen people kill themselves to build a massive fortune, and then they never get to enjoy it, because now I've met so many businessmen, they're overweight, health is bad, you know what I'm saying? And now they got all this money. I lost one of them last year. It's one of my closest friends that I grew up building cars with, Italian brother in Brooklyn, that sold his house, moved to Texas, and I had a prophetic dream right before that happened, that he would get the golden coin first, and it would take me a while to get that golden coin. That golden coin is now, because I'm applying knowledge that I've been given, that I spoke about, the golden cipher, right? I won't get into that right now. We're trying to stay on point, but I'm leaving footnotes. So Rossi sold his house in Brooklyn for $1 million back in the day. He did his research. He didn't want to do the car thing anymore, because I'm heavy on the car game. See if y'all can see this. Yeah, that's the vets that we've been building before it was popular, right? And Rossi went to Texas, to San Antonio, and he decided, he did his research, because he was very intelligent brother. Not very how you call it? Not tech intelligent. Well, yeah, he's technical, but he wanted, like, what do you call it? What do you call that? Manual things. Like, he didn't like the electronic fuel injection. He liked the carburetor, for example. And he did wonderful things with the carburetor while I was programming. Early. I was programming 5.0 Mustangs. I started with that, which the computer was very heavy. But he was on the carburetor. So anyway, but he was very intelligent, super intelligent. So Rossi went and researched what was the business that would fail the least, and came up with storage facility. So to this day, his wife, because he passed from cancer, and the cancer, that's the first time. I'm sorry to be all over the place, people, because this is a big subject for me. He called me and he said, I got this cancer. They gave me 6 months to live. And I had always been trying to get him to do my stuff, but we're so close, familiarity breeds contempt. So it was always like, oh, that's Hans, blah, 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 not recognizing my level, because we grew up together.
Right.
until it was too late. And even that when he told me the final diagnosis, which I must explain to you how it works, I begged him to the point I got mad and I didn't even speak to him in the last days because I couldn't see it happen, because I knew we could have avoided it. His story was there's a certain parasite. His cancer was caused by a parasite that was incubating in his body for 30 years. That's what they told him. And finally released its larvae over his bile ducts. Okay, now the conversation is all parasites, all cancers come from parasites. And there's a combination of that I believe is true, because I believe the cancer is the body's way of dealing with extra toxins. It encapsulates the toxins, and the cancer spreads when they do the biopsy. When they burst that to get that sample, that's when because I lost another student of mine's mother just died from that. They brought me in, they just diagnosed her. She wasn't even stage 1, like just diagnosed. And she had 10 days before they went into the operation. She did my cleanse for 10 days. When she went back to the doctor before the operation, it's like, what the hell did you do? Everything shrunk, blah, blah, blah. But the family was traditional Caribbean, and I already knew we weren't going to pull her from what they wanted to do. Let them do that. And then we'll come back and address it. Never got a chance to come back and address it. Once they went in there and cut it out, oh, we didn't get everything. It's spreading. The minute it spreads or metastasizes, it's a wrap unless you do something very strong. So when I talk about Warriors of the Sun, I'm primarily talking about health, because you can't do this without extreme health. I'm 62 years old. I'm about to demonstrate things that you'd be like, how? And I'm not the only brother. I've been seeing brothers. There's some in Rip Wright's, shout out Rip Wright's crew, that are doing. There's a 70-year-old dude. What's the difference with these people? Everybody just keep talking about, melanin only. It's a combination of things, but definitely the sun, and the fact that Elder called us Warriors of the Sun for over 40 years now is not coincidental. Right? Today, again, I'm on 1.2 million IU of vitamin D. 1.2 million. According to them, I should be dead. My alarms are going off. My bad. I should be dead. But why am I not? Why am I thriving? Why am I healing? I could show y'all stuff, and skeptics will be skeptics, but on my children, on my life, what I'm showing you is facts. It's real. Right? When I show it to you and I show you that I was able to heal like I'm part of some mutant clan, y'all be like, wait up. Nah, he got to be Cap. Pause. Blue, come through. Want to add anything? Point it in any direction? I hear you now.
Yeah, I'm letting you rock it out.
Okay. So let's do a little something. Let's pull up. Let me pull up something for y'all. Give me a second. I'm gonna pull up one of my YouTubes and play something for y'all, because I did a little compilation. I didn't prepare this for this, but I'm thinking that you should see something. So let me go to that and share my screen. So give me a hot sec. I'll go straight to my Facebook so y'all could go back to it, because that video is private. So let me pull up just the pictures and expose this, because this is what's necessary. The training is just part of it. Aside from the training, there's also the activation of powers that have been suppressed. Important. So let me search for this. Going to my health and wellness page called CMC Synergy for Health. All right. Let me share my screen. Go back to here and share my screen. All right. Careful sharing screen audio. Other persons will hear themselves. They're hearing everything.
What you trying to do? Share the
Yeah, they're just giving me a tip not to share it, but I don't think anybody else is talking, so it shouldn't be an issue with any other audio. So here we go. I just hit it to share right now. Let me know if we're on. Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna pull this up. I might need to share the tab because I won't be able to go back, right? Unless I'm on that page. So my bad. Instead of sharing the entire screen, let me share just that tab. Let me close the other tabs. Okay. So now, let me go back to that. Right. Should work a little better this time. And share that tab. All right. That's that tab I'm sharing now. All right. So here we go. That was my face in February of 2022 from a oil burn that happened to me. The picture to the top right was the very next morning. I was
Wait,
by my man
you,
Shandy,
you see the
and
picture on your
I looked
screen?
in
Because
the
I
mirror. You don't? Okay.
do you see it?
Yeah, I do. I did. Now I switch back to here. I don't. You see it now?
Not yet. No.
I'm seeing it.
All right, give me a second. My computer might have a lag, but I'll pull it up on my phone as well. Just to double check.
Look in the chat. It's saying that some of them are seeing it.
Okay, yeah, it's on my phone. I see it pulled up. All
Okay.
right.
So the bigger picture was actually Valentine's Day of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
The next picture on the top right was the very next morning. I'm gonna try to zoom in on it so y'all can see it a little better. And I have other videos throughout that week because I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, people are not gonna believe this. So I have videos of me rubbing in my face to show it's not makeup and whatnot. Um, this is a
All
video.
right. I've decided.
This video, and I have the high resolution version still, is less than a week from the first picture. Less than a week. You feel me? So
Mm.
that's one time. I just healed my foot, and this was what 3-4 years ago. I just healed my foot from being broken last January, and it took me 6 months to heal it. When they told me no way would my foot heal without a titanium screw, and I feel that's an okie doke because we used to be put in casts, and the cast used to take 6 weeks. But as long as you stay off the foot, your foot would heal. When you see people in that boot, I had one friend of mine. She said, "Didn't the boot hold your foot better? Isn't it like an evolution, an improvement, an upgrade over the cast?" No, it's not. Your foot is now bearing weight, which will eventually, undoubtedly, separate the bone, which allows them to now charge you 100,000 for an operation that would have been only five, well, not an operation, but a cast that would have been like, even at hospital prices, less than 1,000, right? Um, wow, there's a whole automobile comment going in. And by the way, I build JDMs as well as Porsches and German cars, but just I don't want to digress. We'll get to that later. Come to my channels. But getting back to this, as you can see on the video, this is a week after, right? That first pick. And if y'all go to CMC Synergy for Health on Facebook, I'm about to upload this video and the commentary to my IG. Also, I'm sorry. I'll put it in the chat. CMCS for Health. Both the Facebook and the IG is those letters. And IG is totally to one word, and on Facebook, it's like you can see it here, right? CMC Synergy for Health. Right, the S stands for synergy. So that's something that I developed past what Chief Elder did with the Qigongs and the Gung Fu itself, right? So yes, he spent 25 years under Grandmaster Allen Lee, but still connected to Grandmaster. Question, Paul? Let me close this screen. All right. So as I was saying, are they really having that conversation? I want to join that conversation on the card tip because that's big for me, but we'll make another forum for that. His whole main thing, my elder is 72, and I'm inviting you guys to do a meet and greet with him and to come to a class. We're having class, no, not tomorrow, Saturday. Tomorrow's Friday. Saturday, there's a class in Brooklyn at my school that I opened up for him and for us to continue with the public, because it's been a while since we had a school in the public. We had a school in Astoria. He had a school in Brooklyn. This is a crazy story, right? Because I first saw the system, Allen Lee system, when I was 13, and I was cutting class in Brooklyn, and I ended up on Flatbush and Church Avenue, between Flatbush and Ocean, for those of y'all who are local to New York. And I went into this school, and I actually have a book here. What did I do with the book? That has some. Well, I had it right here. Where did it go? I just had this book. Give me a second, y'all. Gotta find the book for y'all. I thought I had it right next to me. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. It was in my backpack, right? So I'll be uploading these pics, but I basically saw a flyer similar to this. Oh, it might be too much glare. I'll be uploading the pics, right? And it was a flyer similar to this outside of the school on Church Avenue. And so I went in. I had a little time to kill. I went in, and I found out on our 30th anniversary, I took him to dinner in Manhattan. And while we're sitting outside, chilling, I told him, hey, when I went at 13 years old is when I first saw the school, because it took me 5 years to actually go to Manhattan. And that's when he told me that Grandmaster Allen Lee had opened that school for him when he was 24 years old, because he had been with him since 13. So he is one of only 3 masters to have graduated the first system. So these are some more flyers. He always was the one doing the exhibitions, right? And I have some footage of the exhibitions to show you guys. It's just that I gotta use the AI now that we have AI to fix the graininess of the video, because it's back from 1985. But you need to see the women, because we always train the women. I really want to address the women getting involved with training, because the women are the ones teaching children, right? So this is my teacher back then. I will upload that picture and other pictures. And this was his graduation after 25 years being the head instructor at the school, right? So this is the ceremony with the two other brothers that graduated with him, right? And this is a big deal in traditional Chinese martial arts to be teaching melanated people on that level. As a matter of fact, where did I put that? I think I got it on my IG. I uploaded it before the show. So let's go to the IG and I'll show you a picture that I really, really, really think is incredible. As a matter of fact, I don't even need to do that. I could just search for it, Google, and it should come up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a second. Google. Where are you, Google? Let's go to it. All right. So let's see what we're working with here. Let me let y'all see this. Let me let y'all see this. This pick. I'm getting a few things ready to show you one after the other. And a few pics to show you guys one after the other. Main pick I'm looking for.
Let's do it.
All right, I'm gonna just switch for y'all to see while I'm searching for this pick. So let's go ahead and adjust the screen. Oh, could y'all see my screen? I thought I wasn't sharing. Oh, I was already sharing, right? All right. So this is pictures of the school. This is the picture I was looking for. So this picture right here
Let's
gives
get it,
me an
bro.
idea. Can y'all see? Can y'all see my screen? Can y'all see my screen? Yes, no? Can y'all see my screen? Blue, can you hear me? Blue, can you hear me? Blue, can you hear me?
You're not sharing. Let me share it now. Is it ready?
Yeah, you can share it. You can share it. Yeah. All right. I'm trying to zoom into this picture right here. That's what the one I'm trying to zoom into.
No.
All right, because that picture, let's see if we can open it in a new tab.
Not the. No. No. Yes, I can. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. It's not blowing up. I think I have it on my IG, but that picture is Grandmaster in the middle of mainly melanated boys that have been training since the ages of 11, 12. Like my teacher, he was with him since the age of 13. And like I said, he's one of 3, 4, not official, but shout out to Glenn Johnson, who I've been told missed the ceremony that day. But these were 3, 4 individuals that were able to finish a program for 25 years, what you did for 25 years. And when he was given the title of master, can you guys see? Yeah, this is so small. Let's see if I achieve okay. What about this? Can y'all see that one?
It's up.
I don't know what y'all are seeing. Unfortunately. Let's try it again. Try that again. Man, let's try to share screen. Boom. Let's go Insta. Share. All right. This is a protege of mine, a female, doing what's called snake turnover. So these will be uploaded. I'm going to start uploading a few things. The difference between what you guys see in terms of martial arts and especially Chinese Kung Fu now compared to MMA has been discredited because it doesn't work without the programs. Like when you used to see the movies and Jackie would be doing certain training that would be like crazy looking. It builds the chi. It releases the energy. It builds certain things that weightlifting and other things cannot build the energy. I'll be putting a lot of content up tonight. So if you go back to my IG, the CMC Synergy for Health, CMCS for Health that I put in the chat, and I'll do other videos that'll be more succinct to explain how this works. But this was Ariel doing her first 3 with proper form, and that's what builds. You guys can see? It's not showing? Or is it showing? While I work. It's not showing? I don't know. I think you have to release it, P. Oh, yeah, you have to release it, bro. Because I'm talking, thinking that y'all are seeing what I'm seeing. Okay, there you go. That's her in what's called Mabu, or horse riding stance training, doing a little loop again, I think. It'll play again. So let me let it rock out. We're going to let it play a little bit. Let me let the audio play. Yes. Peace. 3 reps. That's where we start by the solstice. 8 reps. Stick the horse. I get Ali. I got my poster Ali on the wall. Mika, shout out Mika. Good, Kingman.
Yeah.
Let's get this Ali vibe going. Make it happen. Warriors of the Sun Fighting Arts.
It's not up.
It's not up. I don't understand. It's supposed to be up. Light a piece of Justice about Justice League. Go. All right. Let's go here. All right, it is on the page. So you guys can still not see it, or can you see it? Oh, there you go. You're seeing it. All right. So I'm gonna let it rock. It's just like 2 minutes. So this was basically me training Ariel in the beginning programs. This changes it from both men and women. Doesn't matter if you're a female, if you're a child. If you're having, I'll prove that.
No,
I'll prove that. This is the first program. I have dozens of programs under my belt that have changed me. Snake turnover. 1. Go. Let this rock out.
No, it's not. I got to play or something.
Keep your eyes straight.
I got a
There
delay.
you go. Too high, next to the ears. Tuck your thumbs. One. Wind. Fix the thumbs. Pull back. Chamber.
That's one rep. That's one
Don't
repetition.
straighten your neck. Relax the head. Body tension. Grip the ground. Go. 2. That's it. You got this. 93 till infinity beat. Shout out Asia Nelson.
My daughter.
Relax the shoulders. Tension
Born
but
in 93.
relaxation at the same time. Tuck the thumbs. There you go. Try to get 3 in like you did yesterday, but much more intense this time.
I don't
Good.
see it on my screen, but they see it on theirs.
Relax the neck and the head. Separate the body. Separate different parts. You'll learn that. That's good. The stance is dropped. That's good. Tuck the thumbs. Come on now. It's sinking naturally. That's good. All right, all right, all right. Ring the alarm, y'all. Ring the alarm, y'all. Malcolm said ring the alarm. You heard? Watch your spot FM. Dimensional Tigerr. Ariel Williams. Peace. 3 reps, working it up.
That has to be taken to 36 repetitions. That's 3. So it's a progression, as you all know about progression, Blue. But once you reach 36 repetition, that program is now yours, and you have what it develops. It develops certain things. You have a question? I thought you had a question. So, for instance, when the Shaolin palm goes out, right? Back up and show you. When the Shaolin palm goes out and you do this, right, to grab and bring it back in, you're developing certain, grabbing, and the energy builds from doing certain breathing exercises. I've been in situations, for example, when I was doing what you had to go through and I wasn't acquiescing to the so-called powers that be, and they were abducting me and kidnapping me, and I refused to give my fingerprints. At one point, they doused me with pepper spray, industrial pepper spray, right? They had the pump like you doing the exterminator and doused me from head to toe. My locks, it was months afterwards. Every time I washed my hair, my eyes would still be burning. Down to my you-know-what, my family jewels was burning. They had me like that. Couldn't open my eyes. And then one big CO grabbed one hand and the other one grabbed the other hand, trying to break my fingers. But I was singing a song at the time, a warrior song. And they could not open my hands because it builds, another program that I have builds a grip, like that Kung Fu grip they talk about. There are things that we think are legendary and movie, and they're not. If I tell you Iron Body is a true thing, and I'm going to put up some videos to demonstrate that Iron Body is a true thing. It comes through programs. So when they talk about that, this is not.
I want you to continue. What does it develop?
Exactly. When I say Iron Body, I possess Iron Body. I developed it. So that means if I'm in a fight with you, I may not even block because it won't matter. I'm just trying to get you because your blows have no effect on me. That's called small golden bell. I'll give you a story about that. When I first activated it, this is a serious story. So Elder had a reunion with, I said we were the second group, Warriors of the Sun, but there was a group called Keepers of the Light. And he had a reunion. I was probably 20 years in. And these are things that are kept for the inner circle and the family. It's not the time to do that right now. So we are in a position, if somebody can be vetted correctly, I'll teach it, because I'm able to teach it. So
At the time, I was probably 9 months in to progressively doing the sequences, like you saw Ariel doing Snake Turnover, different sequences for the Iron Shirt, we call it. So I'm doing my shirt religiously, consistently, disciplining myself for months. It was like a 9 months in. And we had this reunion on Nevins off of Flatbush because we had a school there at the time near Moses Powell. And when I got on the floor with a young brother that was I heard was very, very good, but he had been ostracized for utilizing the energy to control women, which you can utilize it for that as well. So he literally had NPCs running around. There actually was one woman in the class for years. As I found out later that she was there to get information because he was no longer allowed to be there. This is like really some real. I'm telling y'all this story though. So that day we're having a celebration and everybody's back again. And the brother asked me to play. And I'm like, sure, because I was kind of naive. I'm still like a big kid at some times, right? At 62, I'm still a big kid. But that's necessary because you need to have the light heart. When I ended it with one heart last time, and I'll say it again this time, in the light of peace and justice abound, one heart, many minds expressed as one. That heart for me is light heart. If you keep, like you were saying before, the doom and gloom brings a certain frequency that you have to avoid. Because if you do certain things that I'll talk about later in another, keeping this on this level right now, your reality will have to conform to your frequency no matter what. So in the Bible, when they say right next to you, they're getting snatched up, but you good. That's part of that knowledge. As long as you're in that frequency, it's like a shield. Because of course, your toroidal field extends, yards outside of your body, right? So this little play session was going on with me and him, and I didn't realize that this dude was out to prove a point. His point was that they were always going to be him, as they say these days, right? And no matter that we were the newer guys and we had been in with him 20 years, they were still that because they went through harder training. Well, the earlier you go back, the harder. Grandmaster Lee was very hard in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And it's not necessary to do so. It's like when Ariel talks about duck flower. She made a post on her thing about it's not necessary to go through all that. Now, because he's elevated Alan Lee's system to war much, it's unnecessary to go through what you saw in the movie. Some things like what you saw her do, that's not easy. Especially when you have to sit in that horse for 36 repetitions. It could take you an hour, but you built up to it. That's the whole thing. The consistency of the daily routine of doing that program allows you to do it. You can't jump in and do 36. Even brothers, other elders like myself that I've seen jump in and they'll do the 36, but you destroyed yourself. It's not comfortable if you haven't done it for a while. Like this same iron shirt that I'm talking about, I reactivated it 3 times since I had it back then, because this was probably 20 years ago when this story happened, right? And I'm playing dude, and I'm thinking, oh, it's all good. And at the time, he was also studying capoeira, the Brazilian, martial arts. I know most of y'all may be familiar. Eddie Gordo in Tekken, the one that they had to develop when they were enslaved by the Portuguese. So I also spent 3 years studying that in Miami under Contramista, right? Because Elder always encouraged us to go out and blend. So I have certain capoeira skills myself. Also, shout out Sekou, who met Chief Elder, came to New York and met Chief Elder. Those who know Sekou, who's a capoeira instructor here in South Florida, as well as other things, massage therapist. So shout out Sekou. So he threw what's called a mea lua, which is a half moon kick. It's the most common kick you see in capoeira demonstrations, where they'll just touch the floor and spin and spin and spin, and they're not trying to hit each other. But if they catch you with that, it's the whirlwind. You can't. It's a momentum game. So the way to play a capoeirista is to cut them off, like put them in a small space. Because if you give them room and you're scared of that, you're gonna get knocked out by that. This happened even in MMA. There's a guy that came in, knocked out one of their guys with that. Anyway, he threw one at me, and when he threw that at me, I was like, the dude meant to throw that so hard at my head because I know I ducked it, but it was like he almost caught me with it. I'm like, So then the next go round, and Elder was sitting in the chair watching this. The next go round, he broke my guard. So this is long and short dragon, right? You can do fist, you can do palm. So I had long and short dragon up, and he broke my guard and hit me dead in the solar plexus with a solar fist. Like boom! And the whole room froze. You know how I get quiet? Everybody look my way, and everything stopped for me. I looked around and I saw everybody looking at me. I heard the sound, and I looked back at dude, and he did one of these. He did something like step back, expecting me to drop. And that's when I realized what was really going on. Oh, that's what we're doing. Okay. And I just went, and I proceeded to put it on him like a bad coat, right? Till Elder had to jump in and stop it, because now it's not play. We're not playing. You're trying to hurt me. Now I'm gonna hurt you. That was my mindset. It's still that, because I don't get in those situations, so my energy is not allowing that anymore. But at the time, that's when I realized I didn't feel that blow. And for months afterwards, I realized that had turned on. I'm gonna give y'all something that you will not find anywhere else. I thought it was called small golden bell is when you can take blows. Large golden bell is when you can take knife. Knife doesn't penetrate you. There's my favorite movie I mentioned the last time, one of my favorites, 18 Legendary Weapons. That's when they were trying to be able to take a bullet, and they were dealing with Chinese magic and whatever, and they thought they could take the bullet of the Western guns. That's when they were subjected during the Boxer Rebellion. Real history. But they never were able to stop a bullet that I know of. But as far as I can speak on, taking the most powerful punches and eating them. Or even I'm gonna put video up of a Chinese master and his family that I love. And watch out for the youngest, because he's like the Incredibles. And you can't deny it, because it's gonna be slow motion. And you're gonna see, this ain't fake. Even though we're in the age of AI, this video is from 30 years ago. There was no AI. Right? So here's the secret. For a year after that, as I stopped doing the program and I did other programs, eventually it goes away, but you have it now. It's in you now. That's one of the reasons why my energy is such at 62, because these things have rejuvenated me. And I will also bring to the table legitimately a Chinese master that lived to 256 years old, documented by the Chinese government with an award at 150 and another award at 200. Right? So that's coming. But here's the secret. It's called small golden bell because every time I got hit after that day, I would hear a bell in my ear, in my head. Like I get punched and I hear ting, a frequency would ring off. And I was like, yo, that's why they call it small golden bell, because you're hearing a bell. But I've never been able to see anyone else speak about this. All right, so I don't know where Blue went, but I want to extend to the family again. We're having class on Saturday. Elder can do a meet and greet. I'm gonna offer this package because I'd like to show my love and appreciation for my elder. So I'm offering a $50 package that you guys get to come to class in Brooklyn. It's first come, first serve, because we don't have a lot of space, but we can definitely fit like a dozen people. $50. You get to do a meet and greet on a virtual tomorrow, Friday. I'll set it up. You guys can ask him questions. And those who are local can come down Saturday between 3 and 5. Or if you're not local, you can get the live stream and the replays. And I do have some other replays that I'll throw in of myself and some of the other elders. I'm not the oldest. Wait till you get a load of Dave. Dave is 68. Dwight is 69. Elder 72. No? Merton is, I think, 56. I have students that are 56, 58. You know what I mean? And they move like they're not because of the development. I don't know what happened to Blue.
Not sure. I'm not sure if I'm still on. All right. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if it's still recording. I should have been recording myself. I messed up. It says live, but I don't see it. It says everyone can see and hear me, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna start recording the tab myself though. All right. Not sure what happened here. I don't know if I'm still up or not. Maybe I wasn't supposed to say that and it wasn't allowed. I'm not sure. Maybe I wasn't supposed to share that publicly. I got to take that into consideration. I'm going to take that into consideration. For some reason, I did not tape. Well, Blue's taping it, but this last part, I'm not sure if it got taped. Don't see any comments. Not sure if I dropped the signal. This is not working out the way I need it to. Well, it is what it is. Oh, thank you. Thank you, because I really didn't think I was still on because I'm not seeing Blue. Maybe he lost the signal and it's still running. Yes, these will be beginner classes, bro. I mean, Elder has a complete system called Scroll FM, right? So it stands for Spontaneous Creative Rhythmic Adaptation, right? So you guys will be, and I have like students I brought to the table this year. Okay, I got the message. I'm gonna keep going. I have students that I brought to the table this year, and I did tape some of the early classes from the school earlier this year. So the package will include access to that as well, right? And we do have. I just negotiated more time. So Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays are the times now for those who want to continue. After they do the introduction, the meet and greet, y'all meet Elder. Then we'll do something for you. But it's a great opportunity because there's nobody like this that you have access to. There's nobody like this, period. But to have access like that, and for him to be willing, he's for us. You understand? He's been with me and for me. I've been with him, and I could never be the person that I am today. I've been struggling. I'm not perfect, no, far from it. But without him, I probably would have been a villain. Born and raised in Brooklyn, y'all already know. Blue.
Keep going. You got it.
So I remember, coming to
Keep going.
class,
Keep
and
going.
they say showing up is 50% of it. And a lot of times it was just about, man, life is beating me up, but I got class today. So yes, internal arts. So he's broken it down so that, for instance, it took me a very small amount of time to absorb Tai Chi, right? And I traveled. I was about this. I went and learned Chinese for 3 years to speak to the masters. I used to build cars and train. Build cars and train and be a young black man in Brooklyn, if you know what I'm saying. But I traveled at one point to Boston before y'all knew who Donnie Yen was through the Ip Man series. I'm such a martial arts fanatic. I knew Donnie in the other movies like Iron Monkey. It's fire. Donnie's a Northern Shaolin student under his mother since he's a kid. So I loved his mother. His mother's name is Bosin Mark, and she had a school in Boston. So I traveled to Boston to learn under her for a minute. The Shaolin monk, this was a big story. So when the first Shaolin monk defected, I don't remember his name, He opened the school right off the Manhattan Bridge in Chinatown, right? So me and some of the guys, we went over there, but we already had a certain level, right? So I went in there to get the hard Qigong from him. I didn't really want to. And after I saw the class, so I was like, he's not teaching them what he has. You know what I'm saying? Because the students were trash. So I was like, sorry. You know, but I saw that it was kind of wild. So we were there, we observed, and then they invited us to lunch. And some of the Caucasian young girls were kind of into the brothers, right? So one of them told me that, teacher, because he had this picture on the wall with RZA, and I think it was Raekwon, right? And they blowing this big cloud of smoke. They're like, and I'm like, yo, they got their arm around him, you know, their arm around him, they blowing this. I'm like, and she told me, yo, RZA paid teacher $10,000 for a tiger form. So it was about him getting that bank. So at the time, I didn't have no bank. I was just like, I'm worthy, you know, I got it. And he was like, oh, you need Buddha. You need Buddha. You too aggressive. You need Buddha. I'm like, give me that hard style Qigong that you got. What you working with? That's what I was on at the time. You feel me? I have another very big story. This one, and then we'll wrap it up. And we got to wait for Blue to come back on anyway. But this one's a big one. So this goes back. My son is 26 years old, and I know the timeline because he was about to be born when this happened, right? So my family lived in Sheepshead in Brooklyn, and that's when the Chinese just started coming over, and you would see the parks filled up early in the morning with people doing Tai Chi. And I used to come out early and just watch them. But I'm a young black man, and nobody thought that I'm actually, 15 years in. You feel me? So they had two specific camps that I saw. One camp was a Chinese, what looked like a young Chinese man, 35 years old, and his students were very, very disciplined and skillful. You know, he was having them do the long pole around the teacup, all that. You know, they're very skillful. And he was a Tai Chi man, for sure. Actually, Bagua. I found out it was Bagua and Tai Chi. So I'm familiar. I'm watching from the bench, like this. And then there was a Jewish camp with a big fat Jew man. These stories are crazy. So the big fat Jew man had like 3-4 Hasidic type Jews that he's teaching in the same park. This is off of like Gravesend and 14th where I used to live. So it was a couple blocks from my house. So I used to go in there. So I'm watching, right, and I'm like this, right, and I was like, yo, the Jew boys got some skill sets, right? So one of the Jew guys engaged me, and I'm watching the Chinese too, but I didn't have an end to them. That's why I went and learned Chinese after that. I'm like, yo, I need to be able to talk to these cats. But listen to the story. So the Jew guy, one of the young guys engaged me, and I'm like, because you know how them Jews like to, hey, guy, what are you doing? And blah, blah, blah. How are you? So I'm like, cool. Can you introduce me? Because I'm like, oh, this is what it is. I was like perplexed. Like, how is this? And he was huge. He was like almost 400 pounds, like 350 pounds. And back then I wasn't clear yet that it's not about the weight, it's about the energy. And I have stuff on my Facebook page now about that. When you see a big fat guy doing flips and you're like the big belly and everything. Shout out Dominatrix also. Fire dude with the dad bod. Anyway, I said, I asked him, what's up with your teacher? Like, how did he get his skill set? And he told me he used to be in China and was one of Chen Men-chen, which is a legendary Chinese teacher from Chen Village, one of Chen Men-chen's teachers, students, direct descendant. And I was like, really? Okay. Can I get an intro? So he goes over and he introduces me to the fat Jewish dude. And the fat Jewish dude looks at me and he says, you ever learned Tai Chi before? And I ain't lying because I hadn't been learning Tai Chi. I've been learning Northern Shaolin. So I'm like, no. And he's like, you should go over there and ask the Chinese guy to teach you. So he's thinking I'm basic. So he basically shitted on me and said, nickel, like, kick rocks, scram, you bother me. So I'm like, oh, do. The meantime, the Chinese master is watching the scenario. So by the time I get over to him, he says, what did he tell you? He said, I should come and learn the basics from you.
You know what he said to me? He said, "You don't need to learn basics. You fight every day." How did he know? And that's when I was really, right before Justice was born, that's when I finally really got in with Elder. And I'm getting all the, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, he says, he gives me the address to this school in Bay Ridge. He says, "Meet me here after dark." So I'm like, all right. I get there as soon as darkness is hitting. He's in the back of the school in the yard, and he's doing this fantastic pole set. Like, remember, he was teaching the guys the pole. He had that, crazy cudgel pole set that he's doing, right? Boom. And I'm watching, and I'm like, whoa. And he stops, he finishes, he's like, "You like that?" I was like, "Yeah, that was fire." He's like, "I'm not gonna teach you that." you know? His name was Chisao. Shout out Chisao wherever you are, right? He's like, "Nah, I'm not gonna teach you that." And he says, "You know about Bagua?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know about Bagua." He said, "Show me what you know." I only knew about Bagua. I wasn't learning Bagua. So I knew that was walking the circle, 8 diagram palm, because I'm a historian of this thing. I'm studying it. So I faked it. I tried to walk the circle and whatnot. He's like, "Oh, stop. I'm not going to teach." I said, "I have that too, but I'm not going to teach you that either." Right? Then he told me who he was. He was the grandmaster of the Wu style Tai Chi system, the direct freaking guy. Now, I'm familiar with there's 5 main Tai Chi styles: Yang, Qin, Chang, Wu, right? So I was familiar, and Wu is like not a pretty style. You feel me? Xing Yi. Somebody says Xing Yi. That's the third internal style. So it's Tai Chi, Bagua, and Xing Yi are the main ones. There's another word called Six Harmonies, very little known style, right? So he tells me, "I'm going to teach you, but you can't fight for 1 year. You got to," and I'm like, because I'm fighting my brothers every day now. I'm getting it in, and I'm happy. But here I am in this conundrum with the master of the Wu style system talking about he gonna take me personally. So I'm like, listen, I gotta think about this. My wife is having my baby, but I'd like to bring somebody to meet you. Y'all know who I'm about to bring to meet him, right? He's like, "Sure, you could come tomorrow and bring your guy." So that was Elder at the time, and Elder was Diesel back then. He was huge. So Elder, I tell Elder about him. And we go in the morning. Elder puts on some lumberjack jacket, trying to hide. He had locks like me at the time. And I'm like, "You ain't hiding, bro. You're not hiding." He could see you. He saw me. So when we show up at the park, he demonstrates. He starts to demonstrate. Now the Jewish guy's watching all this. He's like, "Why is this guy spending so much time with this little black boy?" So the dude gets up, and we think he's going to do like a minute or two of some Tai Chi and show us. He goes in, like he disappears from the world for 20 minutes. Not only that, there was a homeless dude in the park that comes up to him, and he's like, in his face. The dude didn't even blink. That was his level. He just continued with his form like the dude wasn't there. So I looked to Elder. I said, "Elder." Elder says, "He's the real deal." The stomps, I have some stuff I'm going to put up. It's called Fa Jing. It's like a sneeze, right? That's when you're issuing power. His stomps was shaking the park, right? So I'm like, okay, now I'm really like, Elder's co-signing. I'm in this position. But he always told us, just don't forget where you come from, basically, who you are. You're Wattsford. But I've gone and gotten the capoeira. And at that moment, I just didn't want to leave where I was at because I was so good with where I was at. So, but this is like the next episode. The same Jew kid that I had asked to introduce me to the fat master, fat child, fat Jewish child. He came back over and he says, "My teacher want to talk to you again." I was like, "Really?" So I go over there. He's like, "I'm having a class tonight." He was having a class at 440 Lafayette. You probably know that venue, Blue, in the Village.
I do.
Right?
I do. Yes.
Yeah, I know. I know you would. So he said, "I'm having a class at 440 Lafayette. I want you to come." And of course,
Y'all know
Yeah,
what I
Joe.
said next.
Yeah.
Yes. Joseph's right across the street.
Hmm.
And y'all know what I said next, right? Can I bring somebody? Right?
That,
So that was a very pivotal point in my development. And there's things that I want to share, but I'll keep it for the students that come through, because that train ride from Brooklyn to West Fourth was so intensive with Elder preparing me that we didn't realize that we missed the stop until we saw 125th. If y'all know New York, that's a lot of stops.
a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of stops, B. But he was preparing, he was making sure that I was prepared. So we went into energy. And when we got off at 125th, he did something, and I know a lot and I've seen a lot since then, but there's a situation that happened because Elder was known to be the top fighter in the temple. So a lot of cats would show up. This is like a movie. It was a movie the whole time I was there. Cats would show up to test him. Like they would act like they just coming to train on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and they're from Monday, Wednesday. So there's a lot of competition in the temple. So they
Right.
would show up, and the next thing you know, they would be like, "Can I play you?" Because he's known to be the dude. He's him.
Right.
And the things I saw be crazy, 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 crazy. Again, I hold most of it for those who come through. That's really about this, because I know that we're going over. But to finish
Yeah.
what happened that day when we went to 440 Lafayette, um, when I got there, the Chinese, not Chinese guy, the fat Jewish guy, he had us like, like on his face that he didn't have in the morning. So I jokingly said, "Oh, you've been fighting tigers?" And he bit his lip. And Elder told me, "You see how he bit his lip?" He bit his lip and says, "Yeah, something like that." Because that's the evil in him. That's the aggression in him. He couldn't hide it. So the whole thing Elder wants to make sure is that I knew the energy and I was sensitive enough. Like I said, I will tell the inside portion of this story to those who come through, and because this ain't just story time, just for reason why this is important. It's not just physical fighting people. This is a spiritual war, and it's connected to this level of knowledge. All right, that's what
Yeah.
I want to bring across.
Yeah. I want to say rest in
So,
peace to Professor Gainey, who was my teacher. And well, my teacher was a brother named Just B. His master teacher is Professor Gainey, um, a teacher of Bakwa, a brother that's in the Guinness World Book of Records, the only melanated brother to teach that particular form out of Coney
is
Island.
that the Black Taoist, the Black Taoist? Is that who you're talking about?
Well, he's melanated. I don't know if he's considered a black Taoist. His name is
No,
Professor
there
Gainey.
was a brother that used to call himself that I used to see on YouTube every now and then. I thought you might have been talking
Yeah,
about the
it's not
same
a
cat.
YouTube. Mm-mm. It's an elder. Um, he don't have no YouTube.
Okay.
He's old school brother. Like I said, he's in the Guinness World Book of Records twice for whatever he's in the
Mm.
book of records for. But he was a master teacher at Bakwa and extraordinary brother. All right. So, did you direct them to where they need to go?
Okay. This is what we're gonna do. I want to show y'all one last clip because it's actually Lisa, who's my same age, and Grandmaster Lee had said about Lisa, who's Elder's wife, that he's never seen a woman that good. And I used to play Lisa all the time. Her level of precision, the women, and I have other clips that I put up on my Instagram and my Facebook page. Remember, CMCS for Health, CMC Synergy for Health, of Lisa and other women that were training under Elder that he developed, right? And I think I have it's just grainy. I think the AI might be able to improve it by tonight, but I want you all to peep this right now. Just a little clip. I'm just going to show the beginning of this clip where you'll see Lisa and other women because he was training Ecuadorian women. There were a lot of Hispanic women at the temple at the time. So I'm going to do the whole screen. Hopefully it will work. And we'll share the sound as well. And we'll do entire screen. Okay, hopefully that will work, because thankfully my brother showed me how to download some YouTube. I thought you couldn't do that no more, but I found a program that works. And this demonstration right here, if I can play it. Okay. Open says me. Open folder. I don't know if y'all can see my screen, but hopefully you can. I hate that. Let's see. Let me know if y'all can see this. I'm going to try to play it. I guess I should try to play it with the browser, right? Because that's the best way for y'all to see it. Let's see if it'll play in the browser. Let's try on Firefox. Just once. It's a little small. Yeah, it's very grainy. Very grainy. Can y'all see that?
I'll share it now.
Those are all women in the front.
Super grainy.
Yeah, super grainy. But it's all women in the front there that were trained by him, just like the men were trained. No difference. And I have a form video that will show you a man and a woman doing the same form. No difference. But I'm gonna set the AI on it. And those brothers that just went to the ground, those are brothers that were trained in the basement. Mr. Lee didn't even know those cats. All right. I'll see if the AI can improve it for y'all, because there's a lot here. And that's from 1985. That's from 1985. So as I said, it's a $50 tribute to Elder. You guys can Cash App me or Zelle me. I'll get back to you. I'll put that up. My Cash App is Calm Monks. I'll put it up in here. And just send me a note that this is for the class. So it's Calm Monks. That's the Cash App. And the Zelle is my business, Revs Inc. That's coming back soon. It's going to be heavy in the streets of both Florida and New York. So that's Revs Inc. We do exotics. We do race cars. Been doing it for a minute. And that is my phone number, one of my phone numbers. But this number is no longer active, but it still goes to the Zelle. So that would be 754. I'll probably put it back on now that you guys know it, in case anybody wants to call me. 754-267-5112. Right, so that's the comment has failed to post to no ledge. Okay, says the comment has failed to post. I'm going to try to put it back up. I don't know why it failed to post. I don't know. That's what I'm getting the message back that it didn't post. So I'm going to repeat it. Revs Inc., which stands for Race Engineered Vehicles and Systems. Everything I do, I've done from Watts's side of things, because acronyms are heavy for Elder. Right there. So Race Engineered Vehicles and Systems, and my phone number there is 754-267-5112. Let's try that again. Nope, it is not posting. Let me just try to put the phone number in. Maybe that'll work. 754. Just look out when you do send the funds that it says Revs. 5112. It is not going through, Blue. All right, so you guys got to hear it. 754-267-5112. 5112. Some reason I did it 3 times, it's not posting. All right. Oh, there you go. You put it up. That's correct. And Calm Monks is $ hashtag Calm Monks. Can you put that up as well, Blue? Because I don't
It's
think
up.
even that went through. Oh, that one's up. Yeah. Yeah, Calm Monks with a S. I have Calm Monks without the S also, but the one I use more so is Calm Monks with the S.
Mm-hmm.
Calmmonks.org is coming. The bots got my .com and .net from back in the day, so I got to do .org. That's coming, and I'll probably have links to everything within the next week or so. By the end of the month, coming the end of the true moon, which is the 22nd to the 24th, and that's when, if you guys are going to do a monthly, I'm doing my best to get people to recognize real time. So I'm trying to keep the schedule on the lunar cycle. So dues will be due on the new moon every month. Still got that blood moon on my phone. Heavy blood moon. And I'll teach y'all certain ciphers about that I didn't reveal in the first two. The golden cipher, right? But we'll talk about that after it proves itself. We'll go back and revisit. So I'll be coming to New York probably in another 2 weeks. I'm also trying to make it to Louisiana with Red and Blue for the 19th, but I have a meeting in New York on the 14th. So that's my schedule right now, and that means I'll be involved in the classes a week, at the beginning of October, right? And some other elders like Merton, possibly Dave. I'll put up some video of me and Dave training. Um, there's also Joe and Lars, Dwight. He's in and out of town because business in China. There's about 7 or 8 elders under Chief Elder that have skill sets, and they're all way older. We're all older at this point, but the training proves itself, and we have it. Elder has it in a way that you don't have to do the 40 years that I've done to get the levels. You know what I mean? Especially with the added combination and synergy of CMC synergy along with the training, because now we've got the supplementation on top of the meditations and the qigongs and the training itself that allows you to do it for an extended period of time. It does not work without the programs. That's what we call them. If you don't have the development, the techniques will not work on everybody, and if it doesn't work on everybody, you don't have it.
Right.
You might be able to put it on somebody lighter. That's why somebody, like when I talked about it the last live, when I said somebody like Michael Jai White that thinks that it's about weight classes, that means he doesn't understand energy at all, which he should. I mean, Koyo Shinkai, I can respect his style. He's a multiple black belt dude. Why you don't know that a small man with enough energy, like if I train Blue must weigh half of what I weigh. Makes no difference. I've seen it happen, especially if there's disrespect on the floor. Just because I'm 6'2", 240, you think I'm gonna play him like he ain't nobody? Not if he's skilled. If he's been taught by elder or whatever. Shout out Mert, who's original. Merton is the
So,
only. You guys will meet Merton soon.
and
He's
let
the
me tell you
only.
why. Right.
Once,
None of that shit makes any difference, because what I bore witness to with Professor Gainey with Bakwa when Eternal Martial Arts, he would put it the place we was training at was like a they had the walls in it was like elementary school walls. So
mm,
the penitentiary is built the same way of elementary. So these is thick walls, concrete, thick ones. Think about the lunchroom walls, y'all, right? Thick walls,
mm,
right? He will put somebody on the other side of the wall. He would be on that side and he would push them, okay? And they would fly across the room with the quote unquote extension of the energy. You know, I
You witnessed that.
yeah, I witnessed
I
it.
can't tell you it
I
doesn't.
can't. I'm not.
Did he do you?
I,
Did, did he
I,
do it to you personally as well?
no, he did not.
Mm.
But he taught me iron belt, right?
Well,
And
small golden bell,
hmm,
same thing. What I mentioned, small golden bell, iron body.
we were the whole goal was to develop iron body, but we was given bits and pieces. So iron belt, I'm sitting
Happens a lot.
in the chair, doing these particular movements and motions. I cannot say that I mastered any forms. I was not under his tutelage long enough to say that. That would be disrespectful. But I'll be damned if I ain't take some of them techniques into my, physical training, and I've mastered that realm where I'm pushing 8 plates, 10 plates, and all of that stuff. And people is like, how? And I'm like, my internal
Exactly.
fortitude, my diaphragm, because it wasn't them just training me, it was them also training me to use my visualization skills. And bar none, don't care what nobody say, because I've seen it myself. Like, the component that a lot of people is missing is visualization, right? Activation of the mind, um, internalizing that. You feel me? And it's something as simple as they taught me how to breathe the right way. So my inhale, I'm inhaling through my collarbone like it's fish gills. Now I'm visualizing this. I'm inhaling through my collarbone and I'm exhaling through my navel, but my navel looks like a nose.
That's different breaths. Elder has so many breath
It's
patterns. You're
as
right.
simple as they think that as correct as simple as they think that sounds.
Right.
My nigga, I will fling something, I will roof a nigga. You feel me?
Bro, bro. I'll trade you breathing sequences. That's is multiple. So
And
many.
then
Buddha
yeah,
breath, fire
so
breath.
right. So then yeah, last year, so then I got my training. You know what I mean? Like I said, I can't say that I mastered anything because I wasn't under the tutelage, but I took my training and I mixed it and incorporated it and stood on it. And last year, when I was going through my own personal training modality, working out and just going crazy with it, I was really going crazy with the breathing. I would have extended periods after my workout, 2 hours just stuck, just breathing, breathing, breathing. And I have so on my own, I achieved a level of mastery that's spoken of that they like, yo, don't even tell nobody that. Where
Yep.
I mastered being able, it was I could hold my breath for 3 minutes. And I thought that was a record, you know what I'm saying? But now I'm at a
It's a
place where
long time.
I
90
was,
minutes, 90 seconds.
I
Long
was at
time.
a place I do not need to, I breathe through my body. I know how to breathe through my brain and not use my body anymore. So I tapped into a frequency that I could visualize breathing in my mind and I no longer have to physically use my body. I got witnesses and I taped it once or twice, but I'm not supposed to share it because it defies logic. I can't teach it because niggas is not disciplined enough to figure it out. And I ain't finna sit there, you know what I'm saying, and attempt to explain. Like my human design says, I do the logical shit and don't even pretend to explain it logically to somebody else, right? And then that's another part that
I
people are not
overstand.
incorporating. I have a our our human design specifies specifically what we'll be able to do and what might be a little bit more difficult for people. The first time that I had tapped into the frequency of breathing through my mind, it was in '05. So this 20 years ago, before I learned Bakwa. Shout out to KT and Red. They was a witness to it. It was '03, matter of fact. It wasn't even '05. And I visualized myself as I was visualizing a sea turtle and the sea turtles hit a certain pocket. I was visualizing the sea turtle in the ocean swimming. but it was being carried by the current of the ocean. It wasn't swimming, it was being carried by the ocean current. So I was able to visualize,
Automatically.
yeah, automatically. I was able to put my breathing
Automatically.
up there automatically, and the
Right.
current carried my breath. And I no longer had to breathe with my body because I was breathing through my mind. I dare
Yeah.
nigga to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right. Right. Right.
And they bore witness to it because we was in pitch black darkness doing this meditation. A red laser came out of nowhere and knocked KT down. Now God is my witness, because niggas can call me crazy, and I'm so used to this shit at this point, right? But dunking on niggas with receipts, that I'm like, go ask KT, because I can't pay that young man to lie for me.
Mm.
Ask Red when he comes on, because I'm sure he'll be on later, y'all. So ask him in the chat. Will we having a pitch dark meditation, and I'm holding my breath for over 3 minutes, and the red laser comes out of the pure darkness and knocks them down.
Mm.
So I'm like, I wasn't trained in any of this stuff. It was something that was already in me that came out once you force yourself
This is what
past the
I'm
threshold.
saying.
And you got to get, it's like crawling through a drain pipe. Who's gonna volunteer themselves for that? You have to get so uncomfortable to get to this comfortability place, because the uncomfortable to the threshold of comfortability is like, I got access to immortal powers. That gives you a different level of comfort. So that was '03. By the time I get to '07 and I have to fight with a dozen NYPD officers in front of the Apollo,
Right.
I'm
Right.
flinging them. I'm
Right.
flinging them. And then and later on, I learned that this is called flexing. I wasn't trained in it at the time, but I had to flex. And flexing is, I incorporated my entire body into one muscle, right? I tensed my whole body into one muscle, and I screwed myself into the earth, and they couldn't move me. And y'all could go and look at the footage. It's still online. Blue Pill fights 8 NYPD officers.
Really, I gotta peep that. I gotta peep that.
See you. Here
I
we
gotta
go.
peep that.
You on your screen sharing. Let's do it. I ain't even gonna waste no time.
Oh,
Um,
me? I'm screen sharing?
no,
No.
you was pulling up stuff with screen sharing. Shout out to. I still want to give a ultimate salute to my brother Just B, because none of this would have been possible without his patience with me.
I got one more I'll share with the public. What you said is triggering the first time I realized that one of these things is not like the other, and that one is me. This is actually before Justice was born. Um, we were in the village. This is before we had phones and access to internet the way we do now. We take it for granted. So my thing back in the day was internet cafes. I used to love to do that. Like late at night, I drive out to the internet cafe and jump online. So
There
that
we go.
day,
The
my
internet cafe.
baby moms, shout out Sophia, Justice's moms, wanted to go to the village. It was like afternoon weekend, and she's going window shopping, and I'm like, I'm not feeling that. So I'm like, you do your thing, babe. I'm gonna go into the internet cafe because there was one there that I used to go to. They knew me. It was run by Chinese people. And so I go in there, and within like 10 minutes, one of them comes over to me and says, "Oh, we know you know, blah blah blah. Can you help this Indian family that want to send an email back to India because they don't know how to do that?" And I was like, sure. So I leave my station, I go over there to help them. They didn't even know their password. So it took me like half an hour to reset their password, send their email for them, go back to my station. Now I spent another 10 minutes and I'm like, yo, I'm ready to go now. Because that was kind of drained my energy. So I go to pay for my session, and the Chinese dude starts to give me back change like I was there the whole hour sitting at my station. Right? I gave him a 20 and he's giving me back change. I'm like, nah, you had me help these people. You know, what's hood? And he's like, no, you pay, you pay. I'm like, pfft. So while he was doing that, he had the drawer open. I reached over and I grabbed another 20 out the drawer.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? Now, this is what happened. I hear from the right side of me, I hear, I saw that. I was like, some white boy. It's like a movie, bro. This one, I'm gonna tell you, they actually said it's like a movie. Some white boy starts getting up, and he's like halfway up, and he's like my height. I was like, oh shit. But while I'm focused, everything slows down. Everything like the movies, everything slow. This is my first real deal situation. I'm
Yeah.
playing my brothers now for 20 years. I don't know what I'm holding yet, right? Because everybody got energy. I'm not realizing. So this is what happened. So when I turned to him to look at him, the Chinese dude hit the bill falls to the ground. Everything's slowing down. The bill falls to the ground. Chinese dude puts his foot on the bill. This boy's getting up. I hear the Chinese dude calling Chinese to the back, talking about, come get this nigga, right?
Mhm.
So, yo, I'll show you exactly what I did. Because as the foot went down, I have a favorite technique called equal opposite, where I basically sweep you and knock you out before you hit the ground.
Mhm.
So I hit him with the equal opposite sweep, and that put my foot in a position for my tiger tail. So after I knocked this Chinese dude out, I hit the dude getting up, the white boy with the tiger tail, in the neck. He pop and drops. And the dude coming from the back, I slid back on him because he came with a little bat, like a small, whatever they call it, blackjack. He swung the blackjack. I dipped and I clotheslined him with all my might, and he flipped and hit the ground, splat. And that's when I looked back, all three of them was knocked out.
Hmm.
I bent down, I picked up the little 20, and I got out of Dodge. I went across the street, you know, the big green mailboxes.
Mhm.
I knelt behind that because we didn't have no phones, right? So I can't call Sophie to tell her, listen, I'm hiding out behind the mailbox. So I'm trying to look out down the block. And mind you, not far from there, they have the police recruit academy. And that day, the whole street was full of them cats with their little bags and their batons. And I'm like, damn, this might get real serious. Like your joint happened, right? The 20 cops, because they're like 20 cops on the block. So then I hear, excuse me, I'm bent down, Asian squat style, next to behind the freaking mailbox. I hear, excuse me. I look up, it's the Indian family. Because I forgot they in the spot. They're like, we never saw nothing like that. That was like a movie. I was like, listen, thank you, but like, scrap kid, you pointing me out right now. And then I see Sophie across the street. I'm like, Sophie. She come over. She's like, what are you doing behind the mailbox? As I grab her hand to dip into the subway, I see the Asian guy come out. Police, help! I was like, dip. That's when I knew, listen, one of these things is not like the other, son. The training is real. Shout out Chief Elder. Shout out Warriors of the Sun Fighting Arts. Shout out Grandmaster Alan Lee, who started it all. You know, we here and we have it. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a coincidence. We're supposed to have this right now and develop it to a high level. One question for you, Blue. You know who Simeon Toko was?
Absolutely.
That they call him the Black. Oh, you said absolutely. All right.
Black Christ. Yeah,
I feel it's all connected, and that's what's going on right now. It's time to come out.
Shout out Simeon Toko.
Right. That story is crazy. That's a hell of a story.
Defies logic, right?
Exactly. We can no longer hang our hats on what's possible only. We have to allow that everything is possible. Everything.
Yeah.
We do not set any limits on yourself. Why in Chinese movies do they have cats flying around all the time? Does that mean they just invented that? It came out the blue. They just gonna be flying in like 747s? There's actually something called light body skill. You know, that's another spot. I never made it to him though. I think they're still down here actually in Orlando. Walum Temple. Shout out Walum and 7-Star Praying Mantis. I wanted to go there when I was younger because he had the 5 plum blossom, you know, what they call plum blossom blocks that you got to fight on top of the blocks. And I always wanted to do that. So shout out Walum, you know, 7-Star. Even that,
7 star. Remember, I told you the other day, Subaru sign, 7 stars of the Pleiades,
Mm-hmm.
right? Monkey style, stone monkey. All these things are not just fighting for the sake of fighting. There are things hidden within, esoteric, hidden occult knowledge within the martial arts.
Absolutely. It unlocks so much. You know what I'm
I'll
saying?
give a bonus. Here's a last minute bonus for those who are coming through this week to take advantage of that meet and greet with Elder. My first lecture back in 2015 in Florida at what was it? I did Sophia's Garden afterwards, but first I did Body, Mind, Soul in Hollywood. That first lecture was on the secret of the food dogs, what they call the food dogs, that are in front of the lion-looking statues in front of the temples. That the Caucasian, the usurper, the colonizer, usurped and turned into 2 male statues. They're not lions, and they're not both male. And it's necessary to understand. I'm gonna put up a lot this week, so stay. Follow me on my IG, especially the second IG. Let me put it up. I put it up the last time. That's where I don't want to mix my health business with the metaphysics. So I have CMC Synergy for Health, CMC Synergy for Wealth, and CMC Synergy Knowledge of Self. So my Knowledge of Self site is called Monk Calm at IG. So MONKCALM. And those who want to learn metaphysics from me, which we want to keep on the subject matter, so I won't get into that. I did pull this up. I just had it. But the word automagic is a very special word. I'll leave you with the word discipline. Y'all need to get into those 2 words and calculate them, because that's what CMC stands for. Calm, Monks, Calculate. This is one of my books with all my calculations in them, and the explanations thereof. I know the light is mad. I pull this light out from being so bright, so y'all can see some of the calculations. But I saw the main numerology chart, because the numbers are language, and Elder uses the numbers 13. Everything is in 13s. That's why you can learn it so fast. I can't divulge his method here, but it makes everything so much better, and an evolution from Alan Lee. All praises due for Alan Lee bringing the knowledge, but Elder codified it and added more after he graduated from Alan Lee. He added more things that Mr. Lee might have held back from him, that he wanted, that he asked for, that he was promised. No shade. He went and got it elsewhere. So we have a lot of things. So this is a basic numerology chart that I know y'all may have seen before. Basically, you go from 1 to 9 across the top, and I'm gonna put it up on Moncom. You go from 1 to 9 across the top, and then you put in the 26 letters of the alphabet. So it's not gematria. This is based on Pythagorean numerology, supposedly. But I have my own version that explains things. So if you guys get this chart from me, I want you to do 2 words, 3 words really. Acknowledge, discipline, and order magic. Those are the 3 words that I'll break down in a class. I'm gonna do. I'll put a link in this chat about when I'm gonna do that class. Most likely on Sunday after class on Saturday with Elder. For those who show up. For those who show up, I'm going to explain how important those 3 words are. All right. So anybody that has added, what I want you to do is, there's 2 ways to calculate this. You can break the numbers down to the single digit. Like, for example, the letter W would be a 5 because it's a 23rd letter. But I want y'all not to reduce it. I want y'all to add them all together and tell me what you come up with. For the discipline and acknowledge. For order magic, you can reduce it. But I will show you that it cannot be coincidence. For example, let's do a word. Let's do 33-7, for example. I'm going to show you something that comes out to 33-7 or 733. And that would be inner G, the inner God, right? So the I is the 9th letter. So you put down 9. The N is the 14th letter. You put down 5. N again, 5. Right? E, 5. And then the R, the 18th letter. Shout out Rakim, the God MC. That's the 9. So you have 95559. That is a code. And then, of course, the G is the 7th letter. So you have inner G is 33.7. Now, when you do 33 divided by 7, it unlocks something. Now, and B got all the numbers, dropping in the background with the matrix code. It's not coincidental.
That part.
9 echoes, baby.
Look, man.
9 echoes.
See the people
All
with
right,
your
pause.
contacts.
Yes, sir.
Got the Cash App up here. Leave them with some contacts. Leave them with some instructions, and leave them with a parting message, if you will. Our people were so
Well, God
gracious
bless you.
to spend another amazing afternoon with us. Salute to
A little
all of you.
bumpy at the beginning. My apologies. But we got
Hmm?
it on track at the end. But I will leave you guys with salutation, which I've said. This is the words. Elder has the movements codified. I will be putting all of that information up in either Montcalm or CMC Synergy for Health on Facebook, and CMCS for Health on IG as well. So I'll probably duplicate all of those. But this is the salutations, and it goes like this. First and foremost, there must be mutual understanding. Out of that understanding, we seek to establish trust and respect. Thus we say, yours in faith and in the light of truth. Come from your heart, follow the guidance of your inner mind. Let the light of truth be our guide as we relate to one another. Then we can therefore say, the ground that we touch, the space that we train, work, or live in, becomes sacred as long as we come and go with the best of intentions. In the light of peace, let justice abound. One heart, many minds expressed as one. This is now Warrior's Prayer or another salutation. In the name of the Most High, and this will be something I might come in. When I come in October, I will teach you guys the movements. I'll probably put up a video of me and Merton doing those movements and a little bit of playing, so y'all see. Once y'all come in, I have a lot because we started taping stuff with COVID, so I got a lot of archives.
Mm-hmm.
Before I broke my foot and after. So, in the name of the Most High, in the name of the ancestors, from my heart, I extend to you my sun and my moon, my wisdom and my love, my strength and my softness. I bear witness, as it is above, so it is below, of the body, of the mind, but forever in the spirit. O most merciful, compassionate, omnipotent Creator, if it be our will and mercy this day, may we walk as you're co-creating, right? If it be our will and mercy this day, may we walk with certainty as we face the beast within, right? And the beast without. I forever remain yours in faith and in the light of truth. In the light of peace, let justice abound. One heart, many minds expressed as one. Love, peace, and light, family. Thank you, Blue.
Hey. All right. Oh, I cannot.
All right.
Yes, family. I am commanded to remind the family that me and Red do have an upcoming lecture at the end of September, MAGA Fest Destiny 2.0. He said that he has shared links for it. I don't know. Let me see. Hold on. I should have the flyer up here somewhere. Okay. Let me see where it's at. Give me 1 second, y'all. Just want to be out of outro. Where is it? I got a million folders up.
New version.
Hmm?
That's a new version I just came up with of something. Very good.
Get it. Hold on. Folder go. Let's see the folder. Folder and the flyer. There go the flyer. All right. real quick, y'all, if you would, real quick. Share screen.
Ashe, Paul.
Ashe. Yes, y'all. So MAGA Fest Destiny 2.0. All right. September 28th, 2025. I believe the link should be in the bio. If not, you can go to Eventbrite and grab your ticket for American Gods, MAGA Fest Destiny 2.0. And if you know, like I know, we are going to be cooking with hot grease. You dig? All right.
Is that an ATL?
It's a web-based. It's going to be on the internet.
I'll be in the building.
Yes.
I will be in the building.
We ain't holding nothing back. You already know what time it is. All right. So, family, please tap in. There's so much to share in so little amount of time. All right. So, you know that we can't do this in an open forum. We got to do it behind the paywall. So, tap in. All right. Pull up. And please bring a pen and a pad because we got so much information that needs to be shared. This is a public service announcement. Okay. And with that being said, once again, I want to say thank you, peace, love, and light to the family. And we will catch you on the next one. All right. Peace.
Peace.
Niggas in crypto, diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist smoke, you stay up at dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets snipped nose, acting gay up in Cisco. They take the day off and play up at pistols, causing chaos and play up calypso. I paused in kitchens and caused addictions. I paused prescriptions and caused inflictions. Lil Bixby playing in stores and Brixton on the dark web. You gotta pause every doors, cause encryption. Tesla engines, pause the pistons. I seen every floor I leave sore and listing. For that action, they sponsored the Bronson. They was hooked on that shit like Johnson and Johnson. That freeway, Ricky Ross, straight out of Compton, straight out of Bumpton. Red on blue, violence in the land. The projection of the will, the perfection of the kill, the reflection of the pills. I'm a frontline soldier, I'm no doja. These crystals not from focus in crypto. Diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist smoke, you stay up and dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets snipped now, acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up at pistols, causing chaos and play up calypso. Hickory dickory down, hit a lick, put the sticky in the box. When the blicky get hot, lick off a shot. Heavy in the pedal, we slip off a knot. Heavy in the ghetto, they crib walk a lot. Crib walk the crypto, lift off the stocks. Drips off the crystal and pots. Disco rods in the blocks on my chain from the crystal shop. In the light there, lift off the rock. Toe Virgil right chain on my block. White paint on my socks. White paint on my socks. Hickory dickory dock. Hit the lick, put the sticky in the box. When the blicky get hot, lick off a shot, we lick off a shot. Players in crypto, diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist smoke, you stay up at dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets snipped now, acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up at pistols, causing chaos and play up calypso.